kept the last two quotients for to be the last would be because it's difficult for me to separate both.
Right.
And one would almost immediately lead into the other. Now, the next quotient is the X quotient.
X.
Yes. You know, in math, growing up, they'll tell us find X. They'll draw some magical formula for us and they say find X.
That's the problem. Every math student do that at school.
Yes, so this time is find X. Now, X is the unknown. So what happens to you on your journey of life and in life when X happens to you? When an unknown situation happens to you on your journey of wealth? Because it will happen. We don't have everything all mapped out. No matter how intelligent, analysts would say they have a 5-year projection, they have this, they have data from this and all that. Heck, we all just survived COVID. COVID came and scattered every projection that many organizations had. In fact, organizations that were seemingly doing well and booming, a good number of them did not survive COVID. X happened to them. The unknown factor happened. So what is it that we do? Because we have to go through life aware that there are curveballs that will hit the best of us. No matter, the prayer is let it hit early, or well, we have support to bounce back. But that it will not hit, I'm not quite certain that is true. Ask any of the successful people. They have often had stories of how they came back from the brink. If they knew there was going to be that, it would no longer be a comeback story. They would have been prepared for it. So we have to be aware that as we go through life, there are many unforeseen twists and turns that will happen. Do you have the resilience? Do you have the stickability, the rise up ability to overcome? Because it will happen. Now, at the start of this program, you mentioned how Usain Bolt was swindled and all. Do you honestly believe that he had no financial competence? I don't agree. If he didn't have, he had people. Again, when people lose money, lose assets, lose houses, we have heard the stories, especially abroad, where they live on mortgage. So somebody says, I just bought a house, we're living in my own house. Yes, it's their house, but it's actually a mortgage payment. Meaning that if they don't make the next mortgage, or if they have a strong relationship with that financial institution, if they don't make 3 mortgage payments, then they're likely to lose houses. They're likely to be on the streets, and it has happened several. It's not a big deal abroad. It is not. It's here that it's a, oh my God, what will people say? Abroad, it's normal. People lose accommodation quickly, easily. The truth is, what have you put in place to make sure that your landing or recovery is not so tough? Because it will happen. There are people I'm sure in life, who were excellent at their jobs, and their companies woke up one morning, downsized, restructured, fired, call it whatever fancy name you want to call it, and they all of a sudden had no jobs. And from just like this, they were doing well and they're doing badly. So, quick question. When people make money, do they have a budget? Do they have a savings plan? For people who are working, do you have pension plan? Do you have a nest egg? There's a financial rule of thumb that says that as quickly as possible when you start working, you should have a savings of 6 months,
Salary.
salary or sustainability, you know, so that in the event, and like we like to say, God forbid, blood of Jesus, life happens and one is thrown out of employment or their means of livelihood is also hampered or hindered, because it can happen to entrepreneurs. A lot of entrepreneurs suffered setbacks of income when COVID hit because everybody was locked at home. They couldn't go out to hustle. You know, what have you put in place to make sure that you are able to tide through those periods of time? It could be something like health insurance, especially if you even know that you're a sickly type of person. It's not a curse, it's not an abuse. There are people who I'm sure you have met in life. Today they're not feeling well, tomorrow they have headache and they're just drinking fever. There are people who are sickly. Have you put a health insurance plan in place? There are people that, you know, you're not just living for yourself. You have many siblings coming after you who you typically, you know, would pay for. If it's not cab fare, it's one thing or the other, or your parents and all. You cannot live life looking at your friend. You're a first child with 3 siblings looking up to you, and your best friend is a last child with nobody looking up to them, and you're living on a comparative basis. You're not wise. You have to figure out, if life happens to me, how do I deal it? What would be my area of hustle? You know, if I lose or have to, you know, step out of school for a short period of time because something happened and I can't afford to immediately pay school fees. Yes, maybe the school would allow me defer for 1 year or 2 years, but what do I have to be able to say, in that 1 year that is my gap year now, what can I do during that 1 year to make sure that I'm able to come back and finish my degree, finish my program? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sure,
because that we will go through life believing that we're going to dodge every arrow and bullet and blow that life will hit us. It's not quite true. That's why organizations have emergency funds. That's why we have miscellaneous. That's why we have for ladies that would go out on dates back in the day in uni, would say vex money. I don't know if that still holds. Vex money is just in case the guy that takes you out is beginning to become stupid and silly, you have enough to get out of there on your own terms. That's an emergency fund, and that is because that person unconsciously was planning for X without even realizing that that was what they were doing. Now, to jump right to the last quotient, like I said, it all goes hand in hand. Say, forget how smart anybody sounds. Forget how organized we all sound. Forget it. Only God knows tomorrow. And what am I going? Tomorrow is far. Only God knows the next minute. We cannot make sustainable money without the spiritual quotient. That's a God factor. He alone knows where the money is to be made. If it was by strength of I'm young, I'm fine, I'm ripped, stretched, sleek and all. Look, me and you are sitting in the studio. We have not made it to Mr. Universe or Miss World. That's to show that there are many people who are finer than us.
Right.
If we're talking about strength, physical strength, you and I know that there are labarus in the market. Mm-hmm. The people building houses, cement, lifting bags of cement, trays of mixed concrete. They have it. If it was by that, they should be richer than us. If we're going by smarts, brain smarts, I was not first in class. There are many people who were more intelligent than us in class, who are nowhere near where we are right now. So we know that it is not of him that runneth, of him that willeth. It's not to the smart, to the swift, to the And it is the mercies of God at the end of the day. That is why there would be 4 friends, and one would get ahead in life by the sweat of their brow. Another will get by their last name. Another will get by with, oh, they just like them because they're just so beautiful. And there are others that will get by because somehow they just happen to walk into somewhere at the right time. And they looked around and said, you come. I said, I'm not, just come, quickly write this for me. And they find themselves in a place of honor that they didn't know about. You think it was coincidence? No. Only the Lord can make such things happen. Only the Lord can make all the efforts that you put in your personal quotient. Because we have seen people who have done courses. When you see them, in fact, you are intimidated because they're always telling you that I'm doing one course, I'm doing one training, and you're wondering, God have mercy you. Me, I've not even done one single one this year to be alone. Do you understand? There are people that, they are buzzing. Everybody loves them. From the mama who fries akara across the road to the Baba Megad who opens the gate of the hostel to, the high ups in the company. Everybody they seem to have understood the ability of meandering the social environment well. But somehow, all those things put together aren't working for them. Then you that look like what the cat dragged in, stinking like a skunk, somehow you find favor and land something. And forget maybe the appearance you put outside, that it absolutely has nothing to do with your timing, your sweat, your smarts, or anything at all. So for whatever it is that we're doing regarding wealth creation, financial planning, resilience and capacity with regards to money matters, if the Lord is not in it, you may make it all, but sustainability, the ability to keep it, not just for your generation, for the next generation. That, let me delve a little bit into, should I delve into football? I'm not a strong football person like that.
2 minutes to go to the end of the show.
Yes, but I understand that, is it Ronaldo and Messi? They are both excellent people. But for some reason, there seems to be a lot of emotional softness towards Messi, while Ronaldo seems to work hard to get the same social goodwill. I have no idea how that happened.
That is a beautiful example because it's just true.
Yeah.
I compare the two a lot, and Messi doesn't work as hard as Ronaldo. I mean, to what we have seen, but Messi still has twice as much as what Ronaldo has. So I feel like it's natural finesse.
Yes.
But then thank you so much, Vida. It's been a long time with you, and of course, I did more of listening today because I was taking notes for myself. Because you joined us, you must have enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much, Vida, for coming over. Let me give them a quick recap. We had 4 quotients. First is social quotient. You need to be more social. You need to be more accommodating. You need to be more friendly. You need to work on yourself first, because I wouldn't say wear a smile now more, because it might just be fake. So just be a better person. Handle your network very well. And this might also entail going out to meet other people, like going for conferences, seminars, go to where people of your kind of mindset are.
Yes.
That would help you a lot. You mentioned the second one, you mentioned personal quotient, which is important. You need to build yourself. You need to know what skills are remaining. What we have, like 4 months to go, 3 months to go for the end of the year. What skills are you going to build? Very important. You also mentioned here the X quotient. I got knowledge from that because never can tell what will happen in life. We are always caught up in this abrupt happening here and there.
I've got it covered.
What are you going to do about it? Some people just live their life like that. No, you need to plan. Life is serious. Life is not a joke. Some people think it's about parties and friends and social media. No, life is really serious. You need to have plans for the X quotient. Of course, you mentioned a very important one, which is the spiritual quotient. You need to have a center. Everybody has a center at some point. Many years ago, I used to study like billionaires every Wednesday. So I looked at Mukesh Ambani of India. He built a house and he was very successful, rich, and so I looked at him. He had this temple on the top of his house. This temple, he goes to pray. That's his own center, and he has been able to cultivate it over the years. That's how he gets whatever he gets. So you need to find your own center, a spiritual center, as much as possible. Yes, that's all the time we have this morning. I really appreciate your time. It's exactly 11:57. Thank you so much, Bida Echitagu, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
To you out there for joining us, thank you so much. Join us again next week, Monday. Do not forget, exactly 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on another great episode of Life to Success. Until then, to have a very beautiful week. I'm going to leave you the final song this morning titled Sunshine. By the way, shout out to Achake on his awards at the head yesterday. Good morning.